Hey friends, welcome to Called and Caffeinated. I'm so thrilled you've joined me today. I have a message for you if you feel like you're stuck in a rut, stuck and just kind of in this mental runaround of feeling self-judgmental and just feeling like your dreams are never going to happen and that you're not even sure that God wants your dreams to come true. My husband and I have been in the midst of a very difficult and lengthy discernment process about building our house. We have the land, we have 5 acres, and I have dreamed of having a homestead for a while now. I know this is something that would be so beautiful, a beautiful place to raise our family. I know that everything that we do on this homestead would just be so pleasing to the Lord and so good for our family. And yet, as we're discerning this difficult decision of whether now is a good time to build or whether it would be better for our finances to wait, I just start feeling discouraged. And I start to feel like I am this 2-year-old who wants things that they can't have. I start to resent the fact that I want things, and the fact that I can't just tell my heart to just calm down and stop wanting things. I took a few minutes to just process and think the other day, and I hadn't even realized that I was thinking this way about my heart or my desires. It was just this like mental sort of down feeling. You know when your heart is like opposed to itself, you don't have peace within the different rooms of your heart. That's how I had been feeling, but I hadn't consciously realized that I was judging my desires until that moment. And I had a moment of honesty with the Lord. I was like, why did you make me like this? You should have made me differently. It doesn't matter how many times the Lord has shown me his goodness in the past. It seems like I just forget and I just come back to this place over and over again. I have a 2-year-old. And I love her so much. And God just said to me, you love her so much, you wouldn't want her to be any different. That's how I see you. I don't want you to be any different. Like, hello, I made your heart. I made it exactly as it is. It's not too big for me. Your dreams are not too big for me. If your current reality does not match up with the things that you dream about, that's no obstacle. I can take care of that. Like, why don't you trust me? You are not finished. You are sometimes immature. But these dreams that I've put there, don't judge them. They're in your heart for a reason. And if I'm not going to fulfill them in the way that you want right now, I'm going to fulfill them in a way that's even deeper. All you have to do is just keep bringing me your whole heart. Wholeheartedness is the word that's been on my mind. I don't know, maybe it's something about the world has just grown so cynical. Everywhere I turn, the world is so cynical, and we have to be very careful to not let that get to us. Sometimes when I'm reading the Little House on the Prairie books with my children, I just realized there was so much wholeheartedness in the world in that time period. Like in all of history, there's so much wholeheartedness. This cynicism, I think, is more of a product of our current modern day culture. And when I read books from centuries past and I realize that people lived in a simpler and more wholehearted way, that is actually the way that we were designed to live. And we especially need to guard our hearts and make sure that that doesn't become the prevailing mentality with which we look at ourselves and our own dreams as well as other people's. That 2-year-old simplicity is something that the Lord loves so much about your heart. I have a bunch of Bible verses for you today that I want to share just because there's a lot in the Bible about wholeheartedness, it turns out. Only fear the Lord and serve him in truth with all your heart. For consider what great things he has done for you. It shall come about, if you listen obediently to my commandments which I am commanding you today, to love the Lord your God and to serve him with all your heart and all your soul. But from there you will seek the Lord your God, and you will find him if you search for him with all your heart and all your soul. You will seek me and find me when you search for me with all of your heart. That's one of my favorite verses in the whole Bible. And the one about Jeremiah 20:13 I just read, it's a promise. In one of our podcast episodes for Called and Caffeinated with Joshua Mazarin, he said to read the Bible as a book of promises. God makes promises to you and then he fulfills them, and you can watch the blessings flow. You can watch him transform your life when you bring him your whole heart. And this is a promise. If you seek him with all your heart, you will find him. Give me understanding that I may observe your law and keep it with all my heart. I think this one's so important too. We're asking the Lord for his understanding, right? So when I feel like I am tempted to not to withhold my heart from the Lord and not to live in a wholehearted way, then I'm not really asking him to shape my desires, right? It's kind of this being backed into a corner and just shushing yourself and saying, just calm down, judging yourself. The way we're supposed to go about our discerning our dreams and our desires is to follow them as long as they're good. And if that's not what God wants for us, well, you better believe he's going to put some obstacle in your way and then show you and redirect you and shape you to realize that what you wanted all along was some form of that original thing, but in a deeper way and in a more full way and in a way that actually matches you better, that the more authentic you that he created you to be. You see the difference between those? It's massive. It's life-changing. Yet even now, declares the Lord, return to me with all your heart and with fasting, weeping, and mourning. If you've been hiding your heart from the Lord, just return to him with all your heart. Just give your whole heart over to the Lord today, and he's going to do beautiful things when you just make that act of the will, make that act of the heart, that movement of the heart. And a side note, today's the Feast of St. Joseph the Worker. My husband and I have just decided that we are going to proceed with building the house. Any millionaires watching, if you want to donate to the Summerall family homestead, that'd be great. Or you could just join my Patreon. I'm so excited to see where this leads. The big dreams that you have, even if you can't have them right now, the Lord didn't put them there to frustrate them. He put them there to fulfill them. Whether that's your current dream or whether that's the dream that he's going to continue to shape in your life as you follow that initial dream.